Ezra.
Writing letters to Santa whenever it's Christmas.
That's not how you spell Santa's name.
And how do you spell it?
To spell Santa's name is easy to do. You write S-A-N-T and another A too. But Noel, Santa's name has Noel. And he won't be too pleased if you don't learn to spell. Jack and Jill went up the hill to fetch water from a well. But when neither one could find it, Jill started to yell, Noel, Noel, can't believe there's no well. We walked all the way here and I'm mad, can't you tell? Captain Ahab took his crew, his harpoon and set sail, and he called out to ships.
Have you seen the white whale?
No. Oh, we ain't seen no. A couple of dolphins and a big hotel. If you listen to this tune, then you probably can tell that you heard it before. It's a song you know, Noel. It's a song you know, and we ruined it completely, so we all say, oh well, oh well, oh well. We'll just bid you farewell. Merry Christmas to you in the joy and Noel.
Gosh, wasn't that fun?
On Christmas Eve, many years ago, I lay quietly in my bed. I did not rustle the sheets. I breathed slowly and silently. I was listening for a sound a friend had told me I'd never hear, the ringing bells of Santa's sleigh. Late that night I did hear sounds, though not of ringing bells. From outside came the sounds of hissing steam and squeaking metal. I looked through my window and saw a train standing perfectly still in front of my window.
All aboard! Well, are you coming? Where? Why, to the North Pole, of course. This is the Polar Express.
I took his outstretched hand and he pulled me aboard. The train was filled with other children, all in their nightgowns and pajamas. Soon there were no more lights to be seen. We climbed mountains so high it seemed as if we would scrape the moon. The mountains turned into hills, the hills to snow-covered plains. We crossed a barren desert of ice. Finally, the North Pole. It was a huge city standing alone at the top of the world. Look, shouted one of the children.
The elves!
We pressed through the crowd to the edge of a large open circle. In front of us stood Santa's sleigh. The reindeer were excited. They pranced and paced. Santa marched over to us and said,
Let's have a fellow here.
The conductor handed me up. I sat on Santa's knee and he asked,
What do you want for Christmas?
I knew I could have anything I could imagine, but the thing I wanted most for Christmas was not inside Santa's giant bag. What I wanted more than anything was one silver bell from Santa's sleigh. When I asked, Santa smiled. Then he gave me a hug and told an elf to cut a bell from the reindeer's harness. The elf tossed it up to Santa. He stood, holding the bell high.
The first gift for Christmas. Give it to her.
A clock struck midnight and the elves roared their approval. Santa handed the bell to me and I put it in my bathrobe. The conductor helped me down from the sleigh. As soon as we were back inside the Polar Express, the other children asked to see the bell. I reached into my pocket, but all I found was a hole. I had lost the silver bell from Santa's sleigh. It broke my heart to lose the bell. When the train reached my house, I sadly left the other children. I stood at my doorway and waved goodbye. The conductor said something from the train, but I couldn't hear him.
What?
I yelled out,
Merry Christmas!
The Polar Express let out a loud blast from its whistle and sped away. On Christmas morning, my little sister Sarah and I opened our presents. When it looked as if everything had been unwrapped, Sarah found one last small box behind the tree. It had my name on it. Inside the box was the silver bell. There was a note. Found this on the seat of my sleigh. Fix that hole in your pocket. Signed, Mr. C. At one time, most of my friends could hear the bell, but as years passed, it fell silent for all of them. Even Sarah found one Christmas she could no longer hear its sweet sound. Though I've grown old, the bell still rings for me, as it does for all who truly believe.
And Santa.
And it came to pass that there went out a decree from Caesar Augustus that all the world should be taxed. And Joseph also went up from Galilee into Bethlehem to be taxed with Mary, his espoused wife, being great with child. And so it was, while they were there, the days were accomplished that she should be delivered. She brought forth her firstborn son, wrapped him in swaddling clothes, and laid him in a manger, because there was no room for them in the inn. I bring you good tidings. Jesus is born. Say, Jesus is born. No, Jesus. Okay, say, Jesus is born.
Yay.
Fear not. Put your hands down. Put your hands down. Okay, Noah, stand right in front of him. Say, fear not. No, Sammy. Sammy, say it nicely, okay? Noah, go and stand in front of Sammy.
Alright guys, let's do it right. Come on. Okay, Sam. Fear not. Hands down.
Say, fear not. I bring you good tidings. Jesus is born.